Hey folks, this is Driller here. Thought I'd make a quick first impressions video on the Kel Tec KS7. It's a bullpup 12 gauge shotgun, and we'll take a quick look at it here today. So the reason I bought this one, a lot of people will buy it in the States for home defense. I'm going to be using it mostly for wilderness defense against predators, and actually, a couple days after I actually ordered this shotgun, I actually was stalked by a cougar, which I made a video on. You can't see the cougar in the video, but it was interesting. I've probably been stalked by cougars several times because I've spent a lot of time in the bush, but I've never actually seen one. So that was kind of a unique experience for me. And it kind of also brings home the importance of a good wilderness defense firearm. So I think the KS7 fits that role pretty well as long as it functions well. So we'll find that out in the near future here. And I've got my Norinco HP9 which is a Remington 870 copy, and mine's got a 14-inch barrel on it. So we'll kind of show a comparison of size. So this is the KS7 here by Kel Tec. First impressions, it's really light. You know, it says on the website it's 5.9 pounds unloaded, and I can believe that it's very light feeling. Most of the weight is kind of right here, where you imagine, right where the breech is. Basically, usually is where the most of the weight is on a firearm. As with most Kel Tecs, it feels plasticky, and that's comes with the lightweight. You've got a big, thick steel cheek plate right here. That's obviously going to protect you if there's some sort of catastrophic failure of the firearm, which is kind of reassuring because you got, you know, all your 12 gauge shells are going off right here, right next to your cheek. So that's good. I noticed a sling loop here because I'm really intent on carrying this in the wilderness. There's a rear sling loop, but there is no forward sling loop. So on the KSG, you kind of get a little bit of a forward sling loop right about there, and it's on both sides. With this firearm, obviously we're not getting that, so I have to figure out something for that. I'm hoping maybe I can put one on there because there's a little threaded, the barrel's threaded here, so maybe I can undo this and either the mag tube or something and put one on, because I really do want to carry it with a sling. I don't have to buy some stupid accessory for M-LOK just to be able to carry a sling or sling the firearm. But that's something I can overcome not too badly. Should be okay. This carry handle is kind of cheap feeling. I mean, it's plastic. I mean, it's high impact polymer, so it should be okay. It's hard to trust polymers, you know, because we just assume plastic is going to break easy. This may not break easy, but it makes it nice and lightweight, and I actually kind of like the carry handle design as far as it gives the firearm a unique look, but also if you want, you can carry it like this, which is kind of a little bit gimmicky, but partially functional. And then you've got this interesting sight arrangement where you've got one of these, I can't remember if it was True Glow or who it was. It's high vis. It's a high vis front sight, I believe. So it's fiber optic. And then to line it up, there's a little kind of square little piece of plastic that pokes up above the surface on the rear here, and you match that up with the bottom part of this front sight to aim. So we'll see how accurate that is. I mean, it only has to be accurate to about 20 yards at maximum for me, for my intended use for this shotgun. I'll probably try, I will try shooting clays with it just to see how it works for that. And it's kind of similar to a lot of normal shotgun sights in that sense, as far as you have this long kind of half pipe structure to aim through. Overall, the quality looks good. The plastic looks good. There's no sharp corners I can see. It seems to pump well. Seems to pump quite easily, despite not being broken in. Doesn't look like it's have to depress this guy. So I've already safety checked this firearm, so I'm just going to pull the trigger here. So you can see how easy it is to wrap. Pretty easy. The release for the pump is right here. So if you don't want to pull the trigger to decock it, or let's say it's loaded and you want to unload it, you just push down on it and back it back. And then you got your safety here, which is a cross pin button safety, which will take some getting used to, because to put it on safe, you actually push it from right to left, so that's safe, and then you push it from left to right for fire, which is kind of not what I'm used to. So that'll take a little bit of training. I mean, I usually don't use safeties anyways, because I leave the firearm, when I'm carrying it, I'll load the magazine, but I'll leave the chamber empty. So, and I'll leave the trigger depressed, so if I need to, I'll be slinging it over my shoulder kind of thing, and then I'll bring it up and just rack it, and then it's ready to go, instead of, first of all, trusting a safety, which you're, taught not to, but usually nowadays they're pretty good. And you should never trust a safety, because it's a mechanical thing. All mechanical things can fail. And you definitely don't want a 12 gauge going off when you don't want it to. The hand grip, the foregrip here, I watched a lot of videos and I was a little bit worried about people's thumbs getting close to the barrel, and it's kind of sketchy. Like if you let your thumb slip over, you could lose your thumb pretty easily there. I'm hoping that doesn't happen for me, because I usually like to hold my firearms kind of funny that way. But what I'll probably do is butt my thumb up against this part here when I'm racking it. Just racking it. If you get a firm grip on it, there's no way that it's going to go too far. Although I would have liked to see, now that I'm gripping it now, I usually don't have all my fingers right up against the butt, and it's actually just my thumb, because that's the way I hold the pump. It would be nice if they made this little plastic part on the pump stick out just a little bit further, so that you can rest your thumb there. Either that, or what might be better is just bringing back this ledge here just back just a little bit, so that your hand can rest completely on it, so that it doesn't slide off. I've got some snap caps here that I'm going to try to run through it, just to see if I have any feed malfunctions like some people have had, but the real test will just be putting real shells through it. I might try some of those mini shells, although I don't intend using them for wilderness defense, so I don't really care if they work or not, as long as the 2 3/4 inch shells work. That's what I'll be using. I won't be shooting any 3 inches out of this, because this is a light shotgun. It's going to beat the crap out of me. The butt pad is actually really squishy, which is good. You'd want it to be squishy. Yeah, there's a lot of squish in that thing, so that's good. Although I've been told a lot of people want to get like a decelerator pad for this. I'm hoping I can find a enlarged Kel Tec butt pad for it. Although no one seems to sell them in Canada, so I'm going to have to order one from the States. Yeah, so far it's good. Takedown, there's videos on that up on YouTube if you want to watch those. I'm not going to take it down today, because I'll probably mess it up and not know how to put it back together. I'd like to kind of review the manual first. So we've also got, in the mag tube here, there's little holes on the side, so you can see how many shells you have left, which is pretty handy. What else is there to say? This guy holds 7 2 3/4 inch, I believe, shells in it, which is quite a bit for a pump. And it's just so compact. Like, I can't believe how compact it is. It's like, I mean, it makes sense because it's 26 inches overall length, but it's very, very compact. And yeah, very nice looking shotgun. So let's compare it to my Norco HP9, which again is a Remington 870 copy. And again, I've already safety checked all these firearms. You can see it's empty there. So this is a 14-inch barrel Remington 870 basically. And if you put them kind of side by side here, I'll try to match up the where the barrels end a little bit. It might not be perfect, but it'll be close. You can see that this KS7 is much shorter, and you know, the 14-inch shotgun is pretty compact. Although This shotgun is super overbuilt. You could run this thing over with a tank and probably nothing would happen to it, because like this receiver is just insanely thick. Like if I open it, there's like a ½ inch of steel there pretty much on all sides. It's super thick, and which means it's super heavy as well. It's about 7 pounds unloaded, which when you have slugs in there and stuff, it ends up being closer to 8 pounds, which is pretty heavy for a bush carry gun. I've learned over the years that having a light and compact bush carry gun is essential to actually bringing it around and for it to be handy and accessible. So this works fine, and it's cheap compared to the KS7. The KS7, I paid just short of $800 for this with tax and shipping and everything. So it wasn't cheap. It was about twice as much as that HP9 there, a little bit more than twice as much. So you're definitely sacrificing cost for, you know, getting the most high-tech kind of firearm. So yeah, that kind of summarizes the firearm real quick. I'm gonna put some just try to cycle some of these snap caps through it. So snap caps are ammunition that is it's for practice. So I'll have to get used to loading that. The tube's kind of far in there. So let's see if it loads it. It looks like it took one out of the tube there. Yep. Did both of those. Let's try it again. So something that I'm noticing that's interesting is you have to kind of put these shells in a little bit further and push a little bit further in than you think. I would have thought you just kind of set them in here and push, but you got to put them quite far in there and push to get them in the mag tube. And so now let's try racking slowly to chamber one. Looks like it chambered that one. So ejected the last one, and it fed that next one in. So far it appears to be working well. One more thing I'd like to try here is just racking it nice and hard. Kind of got to push pretty hard sometimes to get those shells past that little shell holder. But anyways, let's try racking it really hard and see. So it chambered both of those snap caps just fine. So I'm not having any problems with them so far. So these are 2 3/4 inch A-zoom snap caps, which appear to be working just fine. So I'm hoping the shotgun will feed and function fine, and that's a good indicator that it will. With 2 3/4 inch shells, which is what I mainly plan to use in this. I'll be using 2 3/4 inch birdshot for practice, mostly, and I'll probably be using 2 3/4 inch slugs for bear defense. I haven't decided if I'm going to alternate slugs and buckshot or not. I'll probably just use slugs. But anyways, seems like a good shotgun, and based on what I'm seeing here, if it functions just as well as it just did in real life and actually shoots all the shells and everything, and feeds and ejects well, then I would definitely recommend this. I'm going to make a video at the shooting range either tomorrow or maybe this weekend, and we'll see how it works then. So stay tuned, folks. Should be fun.